Greetings. Yeah, it's some amazing abilities you have. However, the thing with the medication, you were a little bit off on that. You were a little bit off on that. I was hippie dosed in California, and you're trying to explain that to them. They go and they look at my prescriptions and they see medications that I stopped taking, and then they just wrote it down. They just took that pen and, oh well, he's off medication. I hadn't filled in months. I hadn't filled that shit in months, so I was well off of it. But they have to make something up. However, I do remember specifically telling them that the weirdos were playing the Grateful Dead in the van. It was a pretty strange experience. Pretty strange experience. However, right after you say that, I went and checked. Wouldn't you know, Garcia Wilderness is on fire in San Luis Obispo. Confirmation. Yeah, Garcia Wilderness. It's on fire right now. So what's the Garcia guy from, I can't even remember, Grateful Dead? That's a Garcia, isn't it? Isn't it Garcia? I don't listen to the Grateful Dead. I know the song. But I know it's Garcia, isn't it? Isn't it? What's the guy from Grateful Dead's name? That's what it is. Anyway, it was very, very creepy situation. However, really the only thing I remember about any of that, other than being blind and deaf for 4 hours, I was. It's enough to make you go blind and deaf. Anyway, yeah, and then they wanted to blame. They blamed it on their medication instead of what I was dosed. So it's what it is. And I told them that, but they didn't believe me. However, they can believe that Garcia Wilderness is the fuck on fire right now. And when y'all are talking about God turning this around with the storms and things, it'll be neat to see how this karma plays out. It'll be neat to see how it plays out. It's just what it is. I do, though. I find that very interesting that, I remember telling them that, they were playing the Grateful Dead, just really, really creepy guys in a white van. Really, really creepy guys. But they didn't believe any of that shit. They couldn't believe how I got there on the interstate. They couldn't believe any of that shit. How I was way far away from where I was supposed to be. They couldn't believe any of that. But it's just what it is. It's just what it is. Yeah, they dropped all the charges except the one where I was trying to get in. They say, Californians don't help people. So remember that if they need any help with Garcia, it was their karma. It was their karma. God doesn't help Californians. It's just what it is. What is it? Tommy Garcia? What's the Garcia guy's name? I'll have to go look it up. I know it's a Garcia though, right? Isn't the Grateful Dead? Wasn't he the fucking lead singer? A Garcia? So it doesn't matter. Garcia Wilderness is absolutely on fire in California right now. Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. I appreciate that. Knowing how Californians don't help people. That sure is synchronistic, though. Talking about God bringing the storms and natural disasters and things. And then you say that in the reading. You say that about, them playing with the medication and just making shit up. Interesting. And I thought, well, let me just go and check. Let me just go check. What is going on in that area today? And wouldn't you know, Garcia Wildlife, ablaze. It's on fire. God set it on fire, I guess. This is what it is. Simple enough. However, keep in mind, Californians don't help people. God got us all that is, angels, archangels, ascended masters, the divine white light. Ask that I be a clear and infinite channel for your wisdom at this time for myself, as well as those I do readings for. Namaste. So it is. So yeah, people's love, people's light, people's health, people's wealth, people's abundance. It's just kind of thrown up in the air because the things that they wanted for you are now happening to them. And that's fine. That's fine, I guess. That's what it is. They don't know how they're going to fix it. And if they don't, that's a they problem. If they don't know how they're going to fix it, then that is a they problem. However, amazing abilities you have. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason. There is no such thing as a coincidence. Everything is a co-created experience with the divine. And I mean, you girls would be right. God would be taking these individuals out one natural disaster at a time to get things balanced out. God will show you who you can trust. You can't trust Garcia Wildlife. You just can't. You can't trust them. It's just what it is. And Californians don't help people anyway, so it's just what it is. Left brain, right brain, subconscious mind. Neat, man. And y'all, that goes to show Dr. Hot Tug Girl in New Mexico, just how powerful divination is. It's just what, even though he had no clue what the word even meant. And I asked him, do you know anything about the MBTI? And I told him, I'm like, the INFJ is known as the unicorn. Do you know what those eat? No. Okay, well, cool. If you don't know what a fucking unicorn eats, how are you going to know how to treat one? Oh, now you think you're a unicorn? No, now I think you're Dr. Hot Tug Girl all over New Mexico. It's just underwater. It's just a delusion. Oh, it's the best we can do about that. Cards in the upright? No, cool. We'll flip it around. That's what it is. And I mean, that's the thing. I understand that Californians don't help people, but maybe they can go and talk to Dr. Hot Tug Spit on New Mexico, and they can get some of that water and put that Garcia fire out. Fuck, your lies are coming out like a monster, isn't it? It's just what it is. It's their karma, and you girls are doing an amazing job. It's what it is. I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about God is bringing the storms and the natural disasters to show these people who the fucking true hand of God is. I can't. When you say that, and I agree with you, and then two shall see, so shall it be. It's just what it is. And vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I hear the people are fighting over the power. Fight the power! It's getting kind of hectic. It's getting kind of hectic. That's what it is. I can't do anything about that. Masculines are flipped upside down. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure the firefighters in California would really like to know that, doctors just make shit up in the emergency room. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. And it was a fucking setup. However, a 19-year-old girl did survive. She did survive. She didn't make it in the van. I did. It's just what it is. It's just, I tend to piss people off when I cock block them from wherever they were going to dose her and take her. And it's just what it is. I said I needed to go here, and I ended up there. And hell, I didn't even know where I was. I can remember walking into a Motel 6. All I could see was the blue. Oh, what is that? Blue? Okay, cool. Let's just close our eyes and activate our astral. Astral works really, really good when you're hippie dosed. Just close your eyes and wander around. Feel your way around. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. That's what it is. Fucking Spirit is on the case. Thank you for that, Spirit. On the emotional side of things. Now, when you say that all of the entities and things that they sent to Pisces are now benefiting Pisces because Pisces has raised their vibration, what exactly do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Because number one, that means they would be using entities in ritualistic hermetic magic, ceremonial magic. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about them summoning things that don't work on me, that backfire on them, and then obviously take out the enemy. Because that's what you said. God is turning this around. God is turning this around, and he is bringing the storms and the fires. And then wouldn't you know, as soon as you say that, and you're and I did, I took your clickbait and threw it on my Facebook, just for future reference to go back to. It's just what it is. But when you were talking about them, playing around with the medication, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, wait a minute. I don't deal with their medication because of what Dolores Cannon says about that. They don't know what they're talking about, and it deadens your abilities. The abilities that help me out to the best of my ability. Those medications deaden that and cause Garcia wildlife to go up in flames. That's what it is. The intuitive abilities. Is that what they were trying to deaden? It's just what it is. I can't do anything about them trying to deaden my intuitive abilities with medication or poisons or whatever the fuck that shit was. I would assume it was LSD. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It made me go blind and deaf. And now San Luis Obispo's Garcia wildlife. It's just, you got to think about that. It's some pretty sadistic shit to be carrying somebody off playing the Grateful Dead the whole way. It's just what it is, like a fucking 30-minute drive or something. It's just the Grateful Dead. What kind of fucking creepos are these? With me going blind and deaf, what kind of creeps give you a drink of water and then you start, not feeling so good? So I'm so glad that 19-year-old girl, I do believe her name was Anna, Eddie and Anna. That's what it is. They live in Paso Robles or in the fucking creek bed somewhere. That's what it is. Helping out the homeless once again. Putting your heart into that shit. It's just what it is. You know, I can't help but think of Mikhail Yasui. Mikhail Yasui. You know, and had I known this before, I would have, you know, thought a little bit better. However, he took Reiki into the beggars, into like the, you know, the slums of whatever third world country, Asia or whatever. Anyway, he took it into the beggars, and then what he found by teaching them Reiki was that he ended up with a bunch of healthy beggars. I mean, they just didn't want to change. You can't change people. You have to change people. So the double-edged sword to that situation was he took it to the emperors. He made a first level attunement, like 10 grand 600 years ago. Imagine how much that cost for emperors, you know, making rice fields and rice wine and shit. Anyway, I'll tell you that story sometime about how to serve sake when you're an emperor with a rice paddy field. Anyway, so he goes in and he makes, you know, you end up with healthy beggars. He decides to make it 10 grand for a first level attunement 600 years ago. And then what he found out was, you know, with plant Reiki and animal Reiki and Kundalini Reiki, you ended up with an emperor that had the highest yielding crops, the healthiest livestock, with the ability to feed 100 women and thousands of children. So, Kundalini Reiki is just a monster. It's just what it is. Anyway, fucking, there's no gratitude in that situation. That's why Reiki is a complementary Japanese healing modality now. It's just what it is. And I mean, you know, when you want to hold accountability into the situation, and then you have people coming from the outside getting involved, now raining down karma on top of everyone, you just don't know who you can trust. You don't know who you can trust. And I mean, once they find, it's kind of bad for business once somebody finds out that the INFJ is a human lie detector. Because what it is, you have to take a step back and you have to look at all the things that have happened and where all of these natural disasters are occurring in signs, synchronicities, like prophesized omens. And it's what it is. It's neat for you to be able to say that, though, about, you know, doctors playing with medication when Dolores Cannon said they really don't know what the fuck they're talking about, as the Schumann resonance of the earth raises going to the new earth anyway. So, and I mean, when you're talking about Pisces, you know, Pisces experience and education is lethal to the opposition. Does that mean because they're unaware half-wits? Is that what it is? Lower vibrational, unaware half-wit professionals? Is that what makes it lethal? Is that what it is? Ooh, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. And you got to keep in mind, once you know that if anything were to accidentally happen, you would just end up with somebody over you trying to figure out, oh my God, what language do I pray in? It's just what it is. It's just what it is. You exercise your abilities and hopefully someone lives. But I didn't understand at that time that would have been little 19-year-old girl's karma. Her karma of getting in the van with the two weirdos playing the Grateful Dead that dosed me. They would have dosed her. And I do believe at that time there were bodies being dismembered on the beach around that area. Yeah, their plan is to catch you off guard. That's what it is. They can't catch me off guard. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. Freaking, they can go catch a fucking shovel and a hose in Garcia Wildlife. Look at that. Health is in the upright. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. So, and when you say that, you know, they purposely go against the truth to fit their own narrative, and now God is exposing them. Okay, great. So when you say that, how does God expose people? Is it like with natural disasters and rains, with signs, synchronicities, and omens from the universe that I'm able to put together like a huge puzzle piece? And it was documented a long time ago. But for that energy to come up in the cards today, and I hear it, and then I go and I do the research, and what do you know? Garcia Wildlife is on fire right now due to women who cannot teach you anything. Here, let me go call the pharmacy that he uses and see what kind of medications he's on. No, chick, I just got hippie dosed. I drank water that shouldn't have had anything in it. I'm trying to explain that to you. And even if it was a situation with, do the medications that pharmacy provides cause that kind of a fucking reaction in people? Women who cannot teach you anything, just like the reader said, would be responsible for God bringing down the hammer. Look at that. 50-50. That's what it is. They had a choice. They could have had faith in the truth. They chose to buy into the bullshit. And now, yeah, that's what it is. The dragon strikes. That's what it is. Congratulations. I can't do anything about a fire in Garcia Wildlife right now. So can you just think about that? So you're a 19-year-old girl and you've been dosed by two weirdo hippies, and you have described one of them did have the dreadlocks. There was the guy with the dreadlocks. It was a white male and a black male. So it's what it is. Younger, fucking up to no good. And when you know that they're up to no good and they just appear on your path. They just appear on your path as a lesson. Obviously, they were a lesson to learn. But when you're listening to them talk and they're asking you questions that, okay, good. So this is a setup. This is a setup, and it's obvious that little 19-year-old homeless girl isn't going to be able to, her and her boyfriend obviously aren't going to be able to figure this one out. And I was completely sober at the time. And I didn't consider that a relapse. I was kind of pissed. Because it was a hell of a poisoning. But yeah, you've had that in the cards too. That's what it is. But could you imagine 19 years old, dosed in the back of a white van, hearing the Grateful Dead playing to your demise? Sadistic shit. It was sadistic shit. Anyway, once again, I was able to elude the monsters. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Anyway, here's my card. Higher consciousness is on top of these karmics. That's what it is. God is removing the negative energy, bringing this. Just when you hear a lady say, God has turned it around and is bringing the storms and the fires. Once again, I was able to go and identify it the same way as Lake Isabella earthquake on Mother's Day, the same as Hurricane Barbara, the first hurricane of the season, blowing all the churches down the coastline. It's just, wrong dead dad for Thanksgiving. Yeah. We got the wrong dead dad for Thanksgiving. The devil working through Pisces toxic X on Father's Day. Yes. We do have that understood. The devil working through Pisces toxic X isn't the fucking devil working through Pisces. So with that, and that was a great Father's Day gift. Now, when I hear you say, because you said it just a minute ago, that relationships are being torn apart and that there's domestic violence and all kinds. Is that because the devil is working through Pisces toxic X? So, I thought it was a great Father's Day gift to give to the daddies, especially if the daddies have Pisces toxic X with the devil working through them. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Yeah, that's what it is. Families in the upright are starting to see what is going on. That's what it is. You can't talk about homeless voodoo backfiring and then I immediately go and find where floods or fucking houses were being carried down the street while the tarot reader's talking about homeless voodoo backfire. Houses were being carried in Texas. Where else? Texas, New Mexico. There were several places I saw houses on YouTube. Now, either YouTube is putting out false information, YouTube is faking disasters. Either YouTube is putting out false information and faking disasters, or I was able to find Tatum, New Mexico, the storm that went through there, Lake Isabella earthquake. Here that one goes. So when these readers are able to pull up these storms, and then I go and do the research, and the first thing that fucking pops up is a storm named after my children or stepchildren at one time. The fuck do you think is going on? Moving forward. Oh, they tried to take out an Archangel, didn't they? That's what it is. I can't do anything about that. That's what it is. Think Office Space, right? We've seen the movie Office Space, right? It feels good to be a gangster. They go in, they take the copying machine because they don't like the fax machine, whatever. They don't like that copier. They don't. So they take it out. They throw it out behind the building. They get a baseball bat and a crowbar. They just go after that copy machine. Okay, cool. So then that's basically like, thank you for the good news. It's the gospel. The gospel just shot in. Yeah, that's what gospel means. It means the good news. So basically, you're talking about the Office Space scene where everybody feels good to be a gangster, trying to take out the human lie detector. But truth is what sets you free. So now we have a corrupt group of parasites that are upset with their office space, fighting inside the buildings. The elites are going crazy. Oh my God, once again, a reader has been able to confirm with Pisces. And what did she say? Pisces, you're wiping the planet or something. What did she say? You're these people are getting their karma. You are wiping them. Fucking God's giving them their karma. Whatever she says, it's on my Facebook. It doesn't matter what she said. It doesn't matter what she said. What she said was that once again, where medical personnel tried to get involved in a situation, they just made shit up, didn't listen to the patient, which is why I went with Reiki and QHHT to begin with, because they just make shit up. They don't know what's going on. They don't listen to the patient, or they would have understood. They would have listened and understood, because that would be my question. If that was what they released me out of the hospital with, that I was off of some medication, and I mean the medication would have been peach Xanax for my anxiety. For my anxiety as a clairsentient. No. You balance ground for that. You balance ground in INFJ Shield for that. MBTI licensed MBTI counselor Scott Morgan can teach you that. He's a licensed MBTI counselor. He's not some nurse just following a pill Nazi's orders and just filling out shit. Because that would be my question. When that nurse goes and checks the pharmacy and sees that that medication hadn't been taken, would it still have caused that kind of reaction, going blind and deaf? Holy shit, I wouldn't want to take it. If those kinds of side effects happen, I wouldn't want to take it anyway. And I think, a good side effect for individuals like that is Garcia Wildlife, fire going on right now. Evacuate, because fucking love always wins. People have no love. Simple enough. So they tried to take out an Earth Angel due to love from the past, and now their prayers aren't being answered. Okay, cool. I can't do anything about that. What is supporting love from the past causing fucking fatal attraction on an Earth Angel with their prayers not being answered for the future? Yeah, we got a change of consciousness. Change of consciousness would be supporting that. It's just what it is. What is over top of the whole thing? Yeah, be compassionate. You can let them get. They got fires to deal with there. It's what it is. They've got their own problems to deal with a bunch of upside down women at the bottom of the deck. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about that. What are the positives? 19-year-old girl lived. What are the negatives? Well, it changed the course or the timeline. Right? Everything happens for a reason. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason. Everything was a co-created experience with the divine. So she was supposed to not go, because if she's still alive now, and if it was her time to go, then she would have gone. She'd be gone by now. She'd be gone. However, it certainly wasn't my time to go. And it certainly wasn't, do they have a cause for the Garcia Wildlife? I didn't care. Californians don't help people, so I'm not going to help them try to figure out the cause of their fire. However, no, your abilities are beautiful, and that would be the story of dealing with half-wit, unaware professionals, just like you basically said. You just basically said that they can't believe that you are outing them for the things that they did to you with no conscious awareness, I believe were your exact words. And you're right, they don't have any conscious awareness. But that would be my question. If you get someone in an ER brought in by the police that's gone blind and deaf due to it was a hippie dosing. They spiked whatever I was drinking. Was meant for her. I'm sure. What are they going to do with me? They took me to the beach. That's what it is. I was in Morro Bay. It's just what it is. But when they look into the pharmacy records and see something that hasn't been filled in I'm going to say 6 months. I might be wrong, but it's had to be at least that long. Right? I specifically stopped taking that medication because people wanted the lie detector docile. That's what it is. They tell you Pisces doesn't take any shit. When I catch them lying to me, I fucking voice it. And then, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. Go take your medicine. What? So you can keep lying? So the INFJ, that is the human lie detector, needs to take medication because you're full of shit. That's what it is. Go clean up the fucking fire at Garcia Wildlife right now. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. That's what it is. I do. I like that shit. I like to be baffled. I'm sure the people in Garcia Wildlife don't like it very much. However, when you've got a reader talking about the poisoning, the attempts on the Earth Angel's life, the fucking using medication and getting it all screwed up, that's what she's talking about in her reading. And then I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder what's going on in that area today. Right? Fucking Garcia Wildlife. Poof! Yeah, bastards were playing. And it's what it is. Who is let me know in the comments. Who is the Garcia? Because that's his name, right? The Grateful Dead? It's a Garcia. And that was the only thing I told. All I could hear as these guys were talking was the Grateful Dead playing. While they're conspiring to what they're going to do with the body. They didn't believe any of that shit. Cool. Well, you can believe the Grateful Dead has got your wildlife reserve on fire right now. Unbelievable. Amazing abilities you have. And I took your clickbait and threw it on my Facebook. That's what it is. Something about snakes getting their karma. Cool. It's probably the snakes in Garcia Wildlife. Namaste. Don't come in here, California. John Doe's got the upper hand. Now y'all got envy. Y'all still got the fake healers. You still got the fake healers, the fake earth angels, the fake star seeds out in the middle of the desert, handcuffed with Brad in a pit of despair. Oh God, no, they've got the earth angel in the white van. Oh God, no. Morgan God, don't come in here, California. You can't even keep those Black Hawk helicopters in the air. What it is. Fucking what a mess, huh? However, it's just another notch in the belt. And I agree. She just said it. She said, and they're still at it. They still won't stop. So God's still sending them warnings. Yeah, I would agree. I went to look for the warning, and what do you know? I found the Grateful Dead singer is burning up California right now. Amazing. Amazing. Just like Lake Isabella earthquake for Mother's Day. It's just like the devil working through Pisces toxic X. Fucking magic backfire at its finest. Why does this shit look like earth magic? Because the earth angel is showing you the fucking results of their magic backfiring. God is showing you who to trust. Cool. Congratulations. Thank you for that. I agree, Therory. God is showing us who to trust. She said there's nowhere to run. Nobody's safe. Yeah. That's what it is, especially if you've got wildlife reserves named after the lead singer of the Grateful Dead on fire right now, when that was in the report. Well, did you hear what they were saying? No, the sadistic fucks were playing the Grateful Dead. Could you imagine the 19-year-old girl in the back of the fucking van listening to the Grateful Dead? What is it, dosed out of her mind? That's what it is. Oh, no, but that's what I was released. They released me from the hospital because I was not taking the medication I hadn't filled in months. So you're telling me at this point that you can that your nurses in that area can release people from the hospital dosed on that kind of a poison, whatever, right? Over medication that they haven't filled in months. So that medication causes those kinds of side effects. No wonder I'm lethal to the opposition. Namaste. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm sure they don't see me coming. Yeah, I didn't see Garcia Wildlife being on fire in San Luis Obispo. It's Slow County. They call it Slow County. It's just what it is. Can't do anything about the dirty nickel going up in flames. It's just what it is. Just what it is. However, positive point, yes, your beautiful abilities were 100% accurate. Enough so that Dr. Hot Tug Girl in the New Mexico Deluge would be able to be, amazed. He'd be amazed at your abilities. That's what it is. I was amazed at your abilities. So, congratulations. Namaste.